Okay. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. I hope you're feeling good this morning. Give me a replay, gang, if you're just not checking in with us. We love having you every single morning. Every single morning, we're doing mindset, skill set, heart set that allows you to go further, faster, with less effort. My name's Haziq Ali. I'm a revenue acceleration coach and a self-esteem development expert as I work on my own. You know what I'm talking about? You know, they talk about this 5-person rule, and I bet you a lot of y'all thought y'all knew what I was talking about when you saw it. But nah, I don't mean that one. I ain't talking about the one where you be like, oh, I'm the average of the 5 people I hang out with the most. This one's a little bit different. I can't wait to chop it up with you about it. You're gonna enjoy this. Damon is in the house. My man Kermit. What's up, Cassandra? Hey, Mr. Beckford made it in. I love it. D Money in the house. What's up, D Money? My man Dexter's in the house, representing the 614. Crystal, I'm glad you made it in, Queen. I'm glad you stepping your game up. 717 in the house, huh, Taisha? The YouTube gang checking in. Do me a favor, share this broadcast with an entrepreneur. And give me a replay, gang, if you're just not checking us out. What's up, Mrs. Goins? Yeah, my man Amar in the house. I love that everybody's checking in. Like, you understand that we all in this together. Make sure Wilmington in the house. That's right. Wilmington in the house. Amar, let them know where you from, bro. We about to get this party started, y'all. I got a feeling that this 5-person rule is going to help somebody this morning. And that's what we're all about. Because I truly believe that when we help the entrepreneurs, we're helping the planet. Because entrepreneurs, to me, are the best part of the planet. They're the problem solvers. I just saw this morning that the lady who founded Spanx gave her 500 employees 2 round-trip first-class tickets to anywhere they want to go in the world and $10,000 spending cash. She just now sold a majority stake for $1.2 billion, right? So when she gave $10,000 to each of those 500 employees, that's only $5 million. You know, $1 billion is 1,000 millions. She gave away 5 of them and changed people's life pretty much forever. I'm talking about with the sense of gratitude she gave them, with the sense of power that she let out, right? Shouts out to her, man, Atlanta's own Sarah Blakely of Spanx. Something else that just happened is Barbados just elected their first black president. You know, instead of the Queen of England being the head of their country, they now have a black president. I thought that was hard body. But it's time to call in, y'all. Let's see what's up.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time because we're going to bring the millionaire out of you. Just hold on.
All right, let's get it. Everybody ready?
Thank you. Please announce yourself. All participants are muted.
Freedom in the house.
Entry and exit tones are off.
Okay. So, good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. My name is Haziq Ali. I'm a self-esteem development expert, revenue acceleration expert. My whole thing is like helping you to make more money. Appreciate that, Dennis. Thank you for the share. Please share this with an entrepreneur. You know, the universe gives to the givers just like it takes from the takers. That's why I told you that story about Sarah Blakely just now. Because at the end of the day, I think it's amazing that the wealthy understand giving. I think it's amazing. Now, the cynical might say, well, she had to give something away because of taxes. And that's true. But she ain't had to give it to them. She ain't had to, you know, the whole idea here is that the universe gives you through the same hole that you give through. The universe gives to you through the same hole that you give through. The universe gives to the givers just like it takes from the takers. And I'm not telling you for nothing this morning because there's something called the 5-person rule that I was made aware of back in the day, I've been managing salespeople as long as I've been, everybody always talks about me making 60 minutes when I was a little kid. Well, even then, I was managing teams of salespeople. And when I learned this rule, it changed everything, because what I learned is that there's a way that you can increase your sales. There's a way that you can increase the revenue that you're generating, called the 5-person rule. Really loosely, what it says is, if you line 5 people up shoulder to shoulder and you ask all 5 of them what their opinion is of you, 1 is going to hate you, 1 is going to love you, and then 3 are going to be indifferent. Bunch of my team understand the champion club form and how it works, where a certain amount of people will buy from you no matter what. A certain amount of people won't buy from you no matter what, right? Like, you could be giving away $100 bills on the corner, and a certain amount of people are going to say, no, this is too good to be true. Just like a certain amount of people is going to be like, yo, what's up? Can I get 200 even? You get what I mean? But back to the 5-person rule, the thing that I want to change your mindset with this morning is that, we said that there's 1 that's going to hate you, 1 that's going to love you, and 3 that are going to be indifferent, right? Well, the 1 that hates you might have any number of reasons for hating you. Maybe they don't like the way you look, right? We got plenty of that these days. Maybe they don't like the way you dress. Maybe they don't like the way you talk. Maybe it's how you assert yourself publicly. Maybe you wrong them at some point in the past, or they see it as though you wrong them. I don't care how many people you a hero to, you a villain in somebody's story. Maybe their mother didn't like your mother. Maybe you did nothing, right? But this person just simply doesn't like you. Then you have the other one that loves you, and they might love you for a number of reasons. Maybe both of y'all wear the same kind of suits or dresses, right? Maybe y'all are just cut from the same cloth. Your behaviors kind of mirror each other. A lot of times we like people who we are like, right? You just get along, right? Maybe you've done them a favor in the past, right? Maybe you got a member of their family a job or something like that. Maybe you made no attempts at all to be liked by this person, but they just like you anyway. It's the universe. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I think what does matter is this. Zig Ziglar famously said that if people like you, they'll listen to you. But if they trust you, they'll do business with you. Somebody give me no, like, trust in the comments, and then give me a share. Give me a no, like, trust. Are you guys familiar with this formula? They got to know you, they got to like you, and they have to trust you if they're going to do business with you. Here's what I want you to understand, though. As we go about our lives, some people are naturally going to like us. Some people are going to naturally dislike us. But the real goal here is to look at them 3 people in the middle who are indifferent. Because if you can get just one of them to love you, if you can get just one of them to come to the love you side, you've doubled the proportion of people who like you versus dislike you. Millionaires, this is another reason that service is so important. This is another reason that you can't just be full of sales pitches. You got to do something to help people move to the side of loving you rather than moving to the side of not trusting you and not liking you. In entrepreneurship, obviously, this is very important. Since people buy from people that they know, I'm talking about the KNOW one, Cassandra, like you and trust you, right? But in everyday life, this is pretty important too. Not just because we can start to increase our circle of influence, but it's just always cool to have more friends, because friends equal opportunity, right? So here's the question. How do we gain enough of an understanding of our own behavior to tip the scales in favor of other people's opinion of us, right? How do we do this? Appreciate that. Know, like, and trust. That's right. Know, like, and trust. Yeah, Alan, welcome this morning. Know, like, and trust. Brenda G made it in the YouTube gang. I love it. I love it. All right, let's get it. So here are a couple ideas that I figured I would share with you. Whether you're a salesperson, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a servant leader. And I hope this helps you with general interpersonal communication skills. I guess today we're talking about heart set. It's still a little bit of skill set, but we're talking about heart set this morning, right? So here's the first one I got for you. Analyze why the individuals that don't like you feel that way. Analyze why the individuals that don't like you feel that way. I just now heard this quote from Bill Gates. Somebody give me this in a comment. This was I was like, it's amazing that there's so much power in studying the mindsets of the successful. Somebody write this in the comments, right? Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. You know that extends to everything in your life. That extends to everything in your life. The greatest source of your learning are your most unhappy customers. So what if you analyzed why the people that don't like you feel that way? I mean, let's be honest, this is a little bit of a challenge because there's a very good possibility you don't like them neither, right? So throw those feelings in the mix and answer the question. Based on this information, what can I change about my behavior? Based on this information, what can I change about my behavior? Think about that, right? Now, I want you to notice something. It's not about the other person changing. And it's not about you becoming a people pleaser who's obsessed with validation. That's not what we're talking about this morning. What we're talking about is that you can only control yourself. And let's be honest, the greatest gift that you can give anybody in your life is your own personal growth and self-development. The goal here is that if you can change, maybe you can then get the other person to change. Nobody says monkey talk, monkey listen. The saying we've been hearing since we were little kids is monkey see, monkey do. The way Gandhi put it is that you want to be the change you want to see. If you're ready for number 2, give me a number 2 in a share. Yeah, your unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. Your unhappy customers. And that's a Bill Gates quote. That's a Bill Gates quote. Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. That's a fact. That's a fact. Man, what if we stopped turning a blind eye to the fact that they were unhappy and really started to dig in? Man, I love complaints, man. I love the idea that somebody was brave enough to share why they didn't like a certain experience they had with our company. Even in your personal relationships. One of my friends taught me that you can literally ask your loved one, hey, I know this area right here is a challenge for us. How did I do this week or today or the past 2 days or the past 3 days with blank, right? Scale of 1 to 10. How did I do with blank? And what would have made it a 10, right? All right, here's number 2. Here's number 2. Y'all ready? Here's the second one. Analyze why the individual that likes you feels that way. Why do they like you? How do you act and behave that endears you to this person? Why is it that they have such affection for you, right? Is it possible to duplicate these behaviors with a different person? Huh? Think about it. Think about it. Why do they like you so much? And is it possible for you to duplicate those behaviors, magnify those behaviors, nourish that part of your personality so that you can do it with more people, with different people? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yeah, Queen. Feedback. Latrasha, feedback is a breakfast of champions. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. It's so powerful if we can just set our ego aside. That's why we always remind you in Millionaire Minded, right? That the bigger the ego, the smaller the self-esteem. But the bigger the self-esteem, the smaller you can make the ego. Does that make sense? Here's a third one I got for you. Of the 3 individuals that are sort of indifferent, like, I haven't really formed an opinion, or you know what I mean? I don't dislike you or like you, right? Of the 3 that are indifferent, which person do you think would have an easier time behaving in such a way that they start to like you, right? Which one do you think you'd have an easier time behaving in such a way that they start to like you? We know one ain't gonna like you. We know one is gonna like you, but those 3 that are indifferent, right? The 3 that are indifferent, that's the one you want to attract to you first. Since you feel they're the most favorable to you, it's almost like the low-hanging fruit. Does that make sense? Based upon the knowledge you got from answering the questions from people that dislike you and answering the questions about the people that like you, right? Because these are powerful questions. Never forget, questions are the transportation system for human consciousness, right? Never forget that. And so now that you've asked these really powerful questions, you've gotten a little bit of a knowledge base. And since now you have the knowledge from question 1 and question 2, you should be able to alter your behavior in such a way that would allow that one individual, the low-hanging fruit, to come around to your way of thinking. It's the 5-person rule. Do you even know why your last customer bought from you? Do you even know why the last prospect said no? What if you took this not just from personal relationships, but what if you took this to the area of your business? Because if you're sitting around waiting on the world to change, you're in for a really hard life. Nobody owes you anything, millionaire. But if you can really mine these complaints for valuable information that can help you improve yourself, now you're going to improve the world, right? Now you're going to improve the world. Does that make sense? Here's number 4 I got for you. Forgive the individual that doesn't like you. Forgive the individual that doesn't like you. Now, we're not saying, again, I got to stress this because some of us as servant leaders can easily cross the line into becoming people pleasers. And we're not here to be people pleasers, right? You have to have a fulfilled life. Yours is not to lower your standards. Yours is to be grateful for what you had. Yours is to be honorable. Honor the people that support you. Honor the people that would give you the shirt off their back, right? But don't let that slide into ego because you're going to destroy your life. You're burning bridges just to light your way. And you're going to keep reshuffling the deck until you end up with a joker. Make sure you are making sure, right? But when this person doesn't like you, it really doesn't matter why they don't like you. You just forgive them. There are no justified resentments. Somebody give me that in the comments. There are no justified resentments. Oh, you can tell yourself rational lies. You can rationalize it, right? But I'm telling you the truth. There are no justified resentments. Being resentful, being bitter is like swallowing poison, waiting on them to get sick. By forgiving that individual, though, you remove all the psychic baggage. You remove all the psychic rust that's keeping you from having other people like you. You're so busy being resentful that now you're turning people against you that would have done anything for you. How is that helping your life? How is that helping your life? The reason I want you to understand this 5-person rule, where 1 person dislikes you, 1 person likes you, and 3 are indifferent, is because if you can just turn one of the 3 that are indifferent into you've doubled the amount of people that like you. You've doubled it. Am I making sense to you? There are no justified resentments. Thank you, Taylor. There are no justified resentments. I appreciate that, Tyrone. There are no justified resentments. Do you hear me, Patricia? It's a fact, coach. Let them know. Let them know. And check it out, man. When you try this question that my friend taught me, even in your personal relationships, and you're like, man, how did I do with this? How did I do in this area right here on a scale of 1 to 10? And then they give you a number, 6, 7, 8. Now you're opening up the conversation so that you can improve, so you can see yourself. You're in a relationship with somebody who's a mirror for you. You're in a relationship with somebody, they know your deepest, darkest parts of yourself that other people maybe never see. So what you gonna do? Just keep on going from shallow relationship to shallow relationship? What you gonna do? Keep on finding customer after new customer after new customer? You're never gonna dig in and go deep and figure out why that customer bought or why that customer left you? That's just not a smart, efficient way to live your life, right? You're going to end up being the crazy old man in the club or the crazy old woman with just the, I'm telling you, we as young as we ever going to be, baby. It's time for us to start getting some of these principles of being a good human being down. And by forgiving people, you remove the psychic baggage that keeps you from wounding the next person that you get in relationship with. Last night with a bunch of my friends, we decided everybody's going to pick a therapist between now and next week. everybody's going to pick out a therapist, right? We said that yesterday. We said that we're also going to use that exercise we gave yesterday about using those 3 questions and writing out our dream life in those 2 or 3 paragraphs, being detailed and specific, right? And everybody's going to find a therapist. Millionaires, when you begin to understand that every word that comes from somebody's mouth is really a prayer about themselves, regardless of who the person is, they're really saying a prayer about themselves. Do you hear me? It changes everything. You can forgive them. Regardless of who the subject is, this person that is moving their mouth is saying a prayer about themselves. Do you hear me? The person that doesn't like you is really showing an outward manifestation of their internal reflection. It's not you. So forgive them. I think it's Katie Couric that said the critic is really revealing more about themselves than they are the thing that they're criticizing, right? I think Jay-Z, I love quoting Jay-Z because where do you get the thoughts of a self-made billionaire, right? He was like, it says a lot about you if you're not feeling us, right? If you're making yourself so easy to love, we're not saying you're perfect, but it's the person who's not working on their weaknesses who's the worst kind of person. That's just the way this world works. Here's number 5 for you. I only got 2 more. Here's number 5. Here's number 5. Check it out. If by chance you behave in such a way that wrong the person who's holding something against you, you got to forgive yourself. My therapist told me something wild, right? My therapist explained to me that you have to learn to like even the parts of yourself that you want to change. Because there was once a time that part of yourself saved you. Maybe you have an incredible temper. There was a time that saved you and backed somebody up off of you that was there to hurt you. There was maybe you have an incredible level of defensiveness. Man, there was a time when that saved you because maybe there was nobody else there to defend you. The reason I bring that up is that in full transparency, that's a huge issue for me. I can get a little defensive with people that I really care for or people that I feel like I'm doing everything I can for them. If I still feel pricked, then it takes me back to issues from my childhood, right? That I'm unpacking and reprocessing with therapy. But here's the whole thing. That same defensiveness is what makes me an incredible salesperson. Because when they say something about, whatever it is, then I got a million different answers. Well, that works good with commerce, doesn't work so good with compassion. You see what I'm saying to you? So check it out. The first step to change is awareness, but the second step to change is forgiveness. After you become aware, you got to forgive. After you become aware of the problem in this particular customer relationship, they've made a complaint. Now you're aware. Now you got to forgive. You got to forgive them for the way their tone might be coming off. You got to forgive yourself for wronging the person or for letting them have an experience that was less than the divine standard that you're here to manifest, right? The past can't be changed, but that don't mean we can't change the trajectory towards the future, baby. If you can make it up to them, do it. If you can't, forgive them, forgive yourself, and move on. Here's number 6 I got for you. Now it's time for affirmations, right? Here's number 6. Millionaires, this one is important. This might be one of the most important that I'm giving you out this whole 5-person rule, right? This might be the most important of them all. Hey, talk to him. Talk to him, boss man. Talk to him, boss man. Hate does more to the vessel in which it's stored than it does to anything on which it's poured. Martin Luther King said something like that. Martin Luther King said something like that. Hate does more to the vessel in which it's stored than it ever does to anything on which it's poured. That's a bar. That's a bar right there. All right, here's the last one I got for you. Let's go do our affirmations. Millionaires, have a mindset of always expecting the best in any interpersonal situation. Your mindset has to be otherwise you're sprinkling bad juju on your life. Not even necessarily their life, but a lot of times, if they care for you, then yeah, you're affecting them too. That's why every book you read about personal development tells you to avoid the unhappy, avoid the unlucky, because it's contagious. The worst thing that the poor people do for you, y'all, it's not give you their values. It's not give you their opinions. The worst thing the poor do for you is they give you their expectations. Well, see, you can take that quote and you can apply it to health. You can apply it to wealth. You can apply it to relationships. So you got to watch your mindset, because that expectation becomes transportation to exactly where you were expecting to go. Your mind is such an incredible device that just to avoid you feeling wrong, it will find the ways to prove you right, even if what you're predicting is a nightmare. You've got to have the mindset, y'all, of expecting the best in any situation. Listen to me, like everybody. If you expect everyone to like you, then what will happen is that'll start to set up these imperceptible behaviors that are all fueled. If I expect you to like me, am I more or less willing to give? If I expect that you like me, am I more willing to make jokes or am I less willing to make jokes? If I expect that you don't like me, am I going to stay more in my shell or am I going to be more outgoing? You see how it all starts in your mind? We have something called mirror neurons, y'all. Mirror neurons. What that means is if I smile at a baby, the baby naturally smiles back. It can barely help itself. If you frown at somebody when you're walking past them in the street, they naturally frown back. We can't help it. So if I go into it, not with Newtonian physics, it's raining outside, therefore I feel bad, cause and effect. If instead I go into it with quantum physics, like I'm going to create my environment, you dig? I'm going to decide this is going to be a good day. I'm not a victim to the weather. I'm not a victim to other people's personalities or moods. Because you got to remember, you keep a mood too long and that mood becomes your personality. You hear me? I'm not going to be a victim to that. What I'm going to be what I'm going to do is be a creator instead of a victim of circumstance. I'm going to be a creator of circumstance, and it starts with your expectation. Just by you expecting the people around you to like you, you begin to start performing these almost minuscule sorts of behavior shifts that start to fuel them liking you. You start to create your reality. All right, I'm going to shut up right there. Right? I want you to think about other strategies that you can use, right? I want you to start thinking about other ways that you can kind of use this 5-person rule. That's right, Allie. Bars, D-Money, bars. Good, LaTanya. I'm glad to hear that. The YouTube gang checking in. All right, so check it out. I want you to think about some other strategies that you can use to get this pumped up. I dare you to call in and do your affirmations with us, right? You're doing them by yourself is one level. You're going to get a whole nother power when you're doing with your crew, man. And we your new family. Sometimes it gets rough out there with your real family even. Or should I say your blood family? But you can choose your friends. You can choose your family. But that's why service is so important, y'all. You got to serve before you deserve. Help somebody out today, damn it. If you ain't feeling good, help somebody who's feeling worse. Watch the feeling you get. Give me your best strategies in the comments, especially if you're rocking with us on YouTube, right? Share your best stuff. You know, share this with somebody that you love. See if you can use this to change some things. Y'all ready? It's time for affirmations. We always start with the 2 most powerful words in the whole English language. You know, when that book about entrepreneurship says, let the strong say, let the weak say, I am strong. It ain't telling you to lie. It's telling you the devil is a lie, right? You are the top of the food chain. You are the highest form of God's creation. You a lot of things, but you ain't weak. So when he says, let the weak say, I am strong. Or when Moses ran into that burning bush, he's like, I am that I am. These are clues. Man, John 10:34. Y'all looked at that lately? Psalms 77:14. Y'all looked at that? Matthew 7:7. Y'all done checked that out lately? So when I say have the mindset of expecting the best, I'm not saying that's philosophy. I'm saying that's physics. We're going to start with I am. We're going to start with I am. Let's get it, y'all.